Hey everyone, so I would like to be the first to welcome everyone who has just downloaded Atlas Earth in Canada to the game. It has been in the States for a couple years now, and as of today, you should be able to buy parcels of land in Canada, even though the official launch as of this recording is about 2 days out. Now, we don't know very much yet about the game mechanics behind Canada or the differences between Canada and the United States as of yet, but we do know of a few. And I'm going to list 5 of them right now. So let's get to it. The first thing is that the boost tier system in Canada will start a little lower than the United States. It will start from 20x instead of 30x. Now, I did run calculations on the boost tier tables, and it looks like the parcel values will not change, and once you are officially in whale or endgame status in Canada, you'll receive roughly the same amount on average as we do in the United States. However, there are no super rent boost events shown in the payout tables, which indicates to me at least that it's probably going to be a while before Canada gets those, or if so, it's going to be on a lower rate. Second, advertised in the homepage on the sign up screen as well, you'll receive a 50%, it says here 50% boost on passports rather than 25% in the States. Now, again, this isn't entirely confirmed. I'm going based off of their advertising. You can see here in the final picture here that they have 25% boost, which, again, kind of a little bit head scratching then. But yeah, little is known how the structure is going to be, and this could hardly be the finished product, honestly, because they're saying 50% here, it says 25% here, so I can't tell you which is which, especially since our leveling system for the passport levels is much different. I do notice that the leveling system that you guys have is a little bit lower, and that could be because there are less cities and like townships or provinces in general over in Canada, so that might be part of the reason why they're trying to keep it to like 60 instead of, 60 being the highest level rather than 101 here in the United States. But yeah, that could be it. I'm still wondering though if 50% of the rent of all lands is actually going to translate to higher rent, just higher rent in general and higher cash outs for those that live in Canada once you reach a particular status. Third, interactions between the United States and Canada are still yet to be known. I think as of the time of this recording, someone had checked to see what the payout is, and it seems like you get paid out based on the country you are in. So if you're in the United States, regardless of where you get your parcels, you are paid out in the United States. That is 30x starting for the boost tier and following the US boost tier system. And again, same if you are in Canada. Could also mean, too, that you get paid out in US dollars if you are currently in the US, and Canadian dollars if you are currently in Canada. Again, not confirmed. Do not quote me on this one. I'm going simply based off of the few players who have crossed north of the border and have seen the differences so far. And I'm just going to go based off of what I've seen from those guys at the Beer Money Network. Fourth, the player with the most parcels in Canada will be named the Prime Minister, not the President. I wanted to give a good kudos to Atlas Reality for putting in the differences in the titles of the heads of state based on country. That's pretty cool. I think a lot of people were a little worried it was going to be called president and it wouldn't seem right. But hey, prime minister, that works. Also, governor, nope, it's premier. You know what? Pretty cool. I give him credit for that one. Hats off to you. Now, fifth is the boost tier tables themselves. Now, I mentioned it earlier, but the boost tier tables are a bit stepped down from the United States ones, as those in Canada are going to start at 20x rather than the 30x that we start with in the States. But not only is there a 20x boost from 30x for the start, but it looks like the drop-offs happen quite a bit earlier as well. As I can see here, the 65 parcels owned drops you to 15x, and 105 parcels owned drops you to 10x. That means that you're going to be at 10x at 150 parcels, while back here in the States, we're still at 30x. I also feel like this is rather incomplete because this table here is very reminiscent of the original table that we had in Atlas Earth way back when they did pre-orders for those in the United States a couple years ago. Basically, I don't think that it's just going to be 20x, 15x, 10x, 6x, and then all the way down to 2x. I think there's going to be a progression downward. We don't know what that progression downward is yet. Well, once we do know, that will tell us what the maximum parcel power is going to be in Canada, which I can tell you right now is going to be a lot lower for anyone in Canada than it is in the United States. That can be a bad thing for sure, because you're going to be making less money as you gather more parcels, because again, your boost here will drop. And it's looking like, if I'm based off of the 10x and 6x here, and I just do a little bit of mental math, the maximum parcel power could be around 1,500. Compare that to the states here, and we have parcel power somewhere between 4,300 to 4,500 if we max out tiers, not counting passports, not counting super rent boosts. That means that you're making about a third that we are in the United States, but that's sort of understandable to me because the US is more prone to being advertising expensive than Canada is, as far as I understand it. And plus, I do know that those that have, those mirror money apps that do have branches in Canada or the UK, which are the next best countries after the United States for advertisers, still only give about 50 to 60% of the earnings, if that they do in the United States. So that being said, though, being a official whale status, that is hitting 2x and then just continuing endlessly, you're still going to make the same as you would in the United States. And matter of fact, hitting whale status is going to be a little bit lower. It could be as low as, if it's 2x from like 6x drop to 2x, could be as low as 750 parcels. Again, don't quote me on that. We'll have a little bit more information in a future video around the math behind it. At this point, I'm just speculating. And bonus number 6. So turns out Canadian Atlas Earth players will also see a cut in the Atlas bucks that they will earn for an ad from watching ads as well. They will only get 1 Atlas buck instead of 2 for reasons that I have mentioned earlier, regarding advertising differences between the United States and Canada. This does mean that you're going to be taking about twice as long as a free-to-play player to get yourself a parcel and progress in the game. However, the threshold to become a whale might be a little bit lower, I believe, anyway. So it might take the same amount of time. I'm not quite sure how that's going to end up. But yeah, only time will tell regarding that. So 1 instead of 2. I should also mention a couple other things in the updates. A lot of you complained about not being able to cash out of iOS, and I was sitting here like a deer in headlights because, I'm still here with an Android about a year out from getting an iPhone. Well, you can now cash out on your iPhone, so if you haven't done so, you can do so now. Also, we talked about earlier how some cities did not show up, and we had a full list of them, including fairly large ones like Reading, Pennsylvania, and Cheyenne, Wyoming. Well, they are now fixed. Not only are they fixed, but for areas where there aren't a city boundary, they are now counties. This is good work on the part of Atlas Earth. You're not able to see the mayor of those counties in the leaderboards yet, though, and some of them are duplicated, but we're finally getting to a point where you can get a city/county badge now wherever you go. All in all, this is a great update. One of the better updates I've seen from them, and I'm kind of glad I can actually compliment them for once on a job well done without reservations rather than, complain about constant issues that they've had. Hopefully they fix the minigames. I guess I'll find out tonight. So that's the video, everyone. Sorry for those of you that weren't looking at me talking about Atlas Earth for a while, or at least were looking forward to me not talking about it for a while. But this did pop up pretty quickly after I stated I was going to not talk about Atlas Earth for a while. It's fine. The next few videos won't be heavy on it just to make up for it. Matter of fact, Beer Money Madness is going to be the very next video. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment below your thoughts on Atlas Earth, soon to be in Canada, if they aren't already starting. And don't forget to subscribe to Beer Money Engine. I will see you all next time. Bye, everyone.